You are watching On Demand. Please do not try to vote or enter any competition or other interactivity in this programme, as it may not count and you may still be charged.
Hello and welcome to your Last Loose Women of the Week. Joining me, Kay Adam, for some fabulous fun this Friday. It's Frankie Bridge, Katie Piper and Jane Moore. Coming up on today's show, as a study finds 5 o'clock is the worst time to be a parent because of all the bed and the bath time duties. We'll be sharing our witching hour horror stories and hopefully offering some solace to anyone out there who's counting down to 6 o'clock. And at 1 o'clock, after Tuesday's Ramsay Street reunion, we'll be getting some more soap stars back together.
So how does it feel being Mrs. Peacock then?
It's all right, I suppose. I was expecting angels to appear in the earth to move, but...
That comes later, eh, Ashley?
Oh, that brings back good memories. Over a decade since they left the Cobbles, legendary Corrie couple Ashley and Claire Peacock. That's actors Stephen Arnold and Julia Haworth will be reuniting and spilling some secrets from their time on the streets. And we're going to be sticking with the wedding theme as we debate one newlywed couple's dress code of jogging bottoms. Super stylish or an absolute no-no? Find out what we think later. First, though, it is the story that is still dominating the news, as Sarah Everard's killer was given a whole life sentence yesterday. And as details about Sarah's abduction by a serving police officer have come out, Commissioner of the Met Police, Dame Cressida Dick, is facing calls to step down over her organisation's culpability in the case. I am generally not somebody who calls for someone's head because I think, well, really, is that going to change anything? And I don't know if it would change anything here. It probably wouldn't. But I think there is a real crisis of confidence now, and I wonder if it is time for her to consider her position. I mean, like last night when, we're hearing that if women are approached by a lone officer, the Met have said you can call the control room on a police radio to verify their identity, call 999 if you feel you're in danger from a police officer. You think, well, that's kind of like handing the responsibility to us. I want to know the police service are trustworthy, and I need her and other senior officers to make that absolutely evident. And if she can't, I'm worried. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with everything you say. I mean, I've met her a couple of times, Cressida Dick, and she's, a really lovely woman and she's very impressive.
Sure.
And the frontline officers love her because she is all about, she's very supportive of the police and the hard work that they do. But, what comes with being paid to be the top dog, if you like, what comes with that is that you're the one that has to take culpability when things go wrong. And, it's very fair to say that things have gone catastrophically wrong here. So, yes, I do think symbolically she does need to go. And actually, you look back, so in 2012, there was this really powerful report, The Abuse of Police Powers to Perpetrate Sexual Violence. And it was based on an officer that had, obviously used his position to launch a string of sexual attacks on women. Then again in 2016, Theresa May commissioned another report with a great list of this, all of these things need to be done. We need to tighten the vetting procedure for police officers, etc., etc. And here we are now, 5 years later, and we have, a serving police officer who has committed this dreadful crime. And you look back and you think, it slipped through the vetting procedure that he had been accused of indecent exposure. Now, how can that happen? And this is what needs to change. There needs to be a systemic overhaul of so many things in the police force and how we look at things. Because, as you say, public faith is really, in crisis at the moment. Yeah. And if they don't have public faith...
There's nothing. We have policing by consent in this country. What do you think?
Well, I think when it's left with us to challenge the officer that's arresting us, to do our research, all of this is hindsight for me, because when you're in the moment of something immediately happening, you panic. And when you're a decent, honest person like Sarah was, you are raised not to challenge authority. You submit to authority. And, you know, for Sarah, it wasn't a normal time. It was lockdown. She didn't really know if she was right to be stopped for being out that time of night. So she complied with the arrest. And had she questioned it, had she followed this new advice of you have the right to have 2 officers there, you can ring the station, he would have overrided that and become aggressive. But because he had handcuffs, you know, passers-by still wouldn't have challenged him because they would have thought she was in the wrong, resisting arrest, and he was using the legal force to get her in the car into the station.
I mean, Frankie, does it make you feel any better that if you are in a situation with a police officer that you could call their senior and make sure that they were credible? I mean...
No, because I think you feel if you've been... I've been in a situation before where I got pulled over and it was 2 officers, and because I wasn't aware that I'd done anything wrong... I was in a car, yeah, right. Sorry. I was driving through London and... I originally thought, well, I haven't done anything wrong. They must be trying to get past me. So I went over to a new lane. They followed me, carried on driving. And then they put their lights on. And I thought, oh, gosh, there must be something really bad. Got out of the way again. And then thought, oh, I'll turn down this road. And if it's me that they're after, then they'll pull down behind me. And they did. So I ended up down this tiny little dark alley on my own. And these 2 officers got out. And they said I was driving erratically, apparently, and breathalyzed me, and I hadn't been drinking or anything. And then they said, oh, it was because my number plate was too dirty. And I said, oh, I'm really sorry, I'll go and get it cleaned straight away. And he said, no, I want you to clean it now. So I was like, OK, I'll try and find something in the car. And all I could find was a scarf that I had. And he went, yep, use that. So I was standing there wiping down my number plate, and kind of acted really calm. It's dark at night. I was a lot younger, yeah. And then they left, and I just literally crumbled in my car. And I was terrified. I remember ringing my mum afterwards. But, OK, maybe I had done something wrong, I don't know. But when you're in that situation, like Kate said, you don't question things. You don't go, oh, hang on a minute, let me call your manager or let me call someone. And if, A, there's someone who is going to hurt you anyway, they'll do it whether you call someone or not. And B, if they are just a good police officer, are they going to get angry of people questioning their authority? You know, not everyone's going to be on board with it. And why is it up to us to...
Yeah.
And also that will then get abused by people who have done something wrong, will abuse that now
Try
and go...
and get out of it.
Well, I don't know you're a police officer, and sort of run off and, you know, whatever. I mean, there needs to be... I mean, it's almost like you think, you know, they probably need to actively recruit more female police officers, and you could have the situation that... Because I do feel that women feel reassured.
Yeah.
You know, say you had patrols of a male and a female officer going round together. You know, they're saying now, aren't they, don't... If there's one police officer, they're going to stop that now. It's always going to be 2.
Those female officers are still within a culture that we do have to worry about. And we heard yesterday that some of the female officers said, well, actually, we were aware of this guy's leanings, but we found it very difficult. And when you look back, and I hate to return to it, but, you know, this is a man who was subject to 3 separate allegations of indecent exposure, one of them just 72 hours before the kidnap. He was known to his colleagues, to some of his colleagues, to have an interest in violent pornography.
So how is he still working? Like, if that was you, Kay, you wouldn't still be working here.
Well, I would hope not.
No,
but I mean,
but you wouldn't.
There's a general call
officer
now for women, call it out, call it out. I mean, if police officers working with somebody like this don't feel comfortable calling it, don't give that to the public. What I want to hear from our authorities is, what do we do if we feel threatened? What do we do if there's someone in our midst that we have serious
It needs systemic
problems
change,
about?
and it needs somebody to come in at the top and effect that.
But it's not
systemic, and that's why I think she probably needs to go.
And it's society as a whole, though. It's in every institution where there is status and power, it happens. But just in our social circles, I remember in my 20s going clubbing, and it was routinely normal to have to keep your hand over your drink, not put your drink down. Guys would grab you, guys would press up against you, aroused on the dance floor, and you have to push them off. And I don't think you'd even discuss it with your friends. And you certainly wouldn't go and report it to the doorman, because you'd be up and down to the door all night.
But see, that's interesting, because I might say to you, Katie, call that out, and you'll say to me, well, what do you mean call it out? That's just what they do. So we're not even all on the same page here with what we're calling out. So somebody needs to tell us what is acceptable and unacceptable behaviour. I say somebody needs to tell us, that's very simplistic. You know, we've got to tackle this from all different sort of angles, haven't we? Through education, through workplace education, through the police and the justice system. But, you know, we don't even know what we're calling out.
No. But you just need to trust that when you do feel seriously enough about something to call it out, that when those police officers arrive, there is a due process that will make you feel reassured. Because what's happening at the minute is that so many women just think, oh, I'm just not going to bother. Because I remember my friend reported X and they just went, oh, well, you know, be careful, be more careful next time or whatever.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we need to see. Plenty more to come on today's show, including a big Corrie couple reunion and a wedding dress code dilemma. We'll see you after this.
It's torn Ashley apart. He's such a good man. And he did love you. But he loves me now.
Welcome back. There you go, the dramatic moment that Ashley's torrid affair was exposed to wife Claire. Hopefully Corrie's Stephen Arnold and Julia Haworth will be in a more cheerful mood when they join us to relive their soap days at 1 o'clock. And if you've always fancied a taste of Betty's Hot Pot, you won't want to miss our chat about whether Pub Grub has got too posh. That's at 1:15. Now think of all the Port Scratch tunes you could buy with this week's competition prize. It's your chance to win not just a brand new car, oh no, we are chucking in 40 grand as well. Lines close today at 3 o'clock, so you might want to get a wiggle on. Jeff Brazier has all the info.
Imagine stepping into autumn with an extra £40,000 in the bank and a new car parked in your driveway. Well, you might not need to imagine it, because that's exactly what you could win in our spectacular competition. It all starts with this brand new Range Rover Sport. This bad boy is worth over £78,000 and comes with all the mod cons: front and back heated seats, parking assistance, sat-nav and more. The giving doesn't stop there. You could get your hands on a whopping £40,000 in tax-free cash to spend on whatever you want. This amazing two-part prize package is worth over £118,000. Lines close today at 3 p.m. For another chance to win a Range Rover Sport and £40,000, go to the website. Entries cost £2. Text prize to 81119. Text cost £2 plus one standard network rate message. Call 09068 781119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY36 PO Box 7558 Derby DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines closed today at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, every new parent knows about the so-called witching hour for babies and toddlers as they approach bedtime. But now a study has found that 8 minutes past 5, to be precise, is the worst time to be a parent because of all the different duties that need to be ticked off. So does that sound familiar, Frankie?
So familiar. My goodness. You know what, I was thinking back and I was like, God, when my kids were babies, I really cherished bath time. It was like something that I really rushed home for and things like that. But now they're older, I just find that time from like getting back from school to bedtime just so hard. And I actually had a conversation with Wayne the other day and I was like, why do we do all the stressful stuff? Why do we fill up that time period with so much stuff when we're all tired? When we're tired, the kids are tired. So I'm like, you've got to do homework, you've got to have dinner, you've got to have a bath. You know, they never want to blooming wash, do they? And you're always having a fight with them and you're tired and over it and they're over it. And then you've got to try and get them to bed and they make every excuse under the sun not to go to sleep. And all you want to do is go downstairs, watch something on telly and chill out. So I do find that time really hard. And I've actually got a video of Parker when he was little trying to find any excuse not to go to bed.
Oh, let's see.
Gonna go get back in bed?
can't hear, there is him coming up with all different ideas as to why is that to come out. Oh, my arm's stuck in my sleeve. I found this on the floor, trying to wake Carter up. And I just was like, it was so cute. But then also, that video is actually 2.5 minutes long, and it felt like about 10 hours.
You've got to give it to them. I mean, their little brains are working, aren't they?
Yeah,
Clever.
it's very familiar. I mean, it's pretty similar in my house. So our age gap is the eldest is 7, the youngest is 3. So the 7-year-old goes to bed a bit later. So the youngest then finds every delaying tactic, and it's quite impressive. So she will sit there and eat her baked beans, bean by bean, with her fingers, just to slow down the meal time. Then the eldest, when she gets upstairs, starts to bring up really deep subjects, like, well, I'll lay in bed with her, put her to sleep. When do you think the pandemic will end? When will you die? And it's like, what? And they aren't genuine things she's worried about. She's just trying to delay the bedtime. So part of me is like, I really admire the strategy here and the intelligence, but no, you need to go to bed. And we try not to drink in the week. And by the end of the bedtime, I'm just like, I need a wine and it's Monday.
It wasn't called wine o'clock for nothing, I have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a distant memory, but oh my goodness, it's still... Between 4 and 6 was my time, actually.
Yeah.
I was just like...
The homework, the this. And then, of course, all the experts say you've got to wind them down.
Yeah.
So that's what the bath is about, the warm bath, the bedtime story, the milky drink, you know, all of that. And you just get them into that lovely sort of like, where their eyes are going like that. And then Gary would come back from work, and I'm using my iPad as a baby. Hello! Daddy's home! Mr. Tickle!
So
And I'd be
true.
like,
Just spent 8 hours trying to calm them down. You know, you've undone it all.
And then when you do get them in bed, well, actually, my eldest was worse for this. But, I mean, you know, bedtime story after bedtime story and all those questions that you're talking about, Katie, and you think, right, I've done it now. And she's drifting off. And so you get the room. Just stuff like that, and you're almost like crawling on your belly, aren't you? You're just trying to get out the room.
So
you get like that.
Mummy!
Yes, darling. Yeah. I nearly made it.
Such a test of patience.
Oh, it really is. It's so testing.
But we wouldn't change them for the world. And that is why my children sleep in my bed.
Well, it becomes the
just
easiest
given up.
thing, doesn't it? That's why my dog sleeps in my bed. Anyway, at the other end of the scale, actress Gillian Anderson has an award-winning career. 2 ex-husbands, 3 kids. But at the age of 53, this is interesting, she says she still doesn't feel like a grown-up. She says, I don't think it's uncommon for adults at any point to still feel that they're not grown-ups yet, which I totally relate to. So, do you feel like a grown-up?
I find it interesting that you've come straight to me, Kate.
Well, just because you're the youngest of us, aren't you? I mean, what...
No, I don't. Like, I think we had this conversation a few weeks ago where I was like, I still wouldn't be like, oh, I'm a woman. I still feel a bit like a girl. And I think that really... You know, now my kids are at school and stuff. I remember when we were going to meet the headmaster and I was a bit like, Wayne, I've not got any questions for him. Have you got any questions? I don't really know what to say. And I felt like I was back in school. And I do often feel like I'm almost playing the role of a parent, like trying to join in with the adult conversations and asking all the right questions. And so I suppose I don't feel fully like an adult. And I think because a lot of my friends are that bit older than me, so they've got teenage kids. I often find sometimes if I'm at like a family dinner with them and I'm sat next to a teenager on one side, my mate on the other side, I kind of like get lost into teenage conversation and think, yeah, I'm really down with the kids here. And then they'll say something that reminds me that I'm not so cool and down with the kids. And then I go and have a conversation with my friend about grown-up stuff, I suppose. So sometimes I do feel a bit like in the middle.
I wonder if anyone ever feels properly... Well, I mean, both my parents have died now, so, I mean, I guess that is a point that there's nobody in front of you. So, you know, yeah, this is as grown up as you're ever going to get. And I think also what you don't have, I mean, I was lucky I had a great relationship with the mum and dad. I mean, until they were really very ill, I was always able to go, Mum, you know, even when I was blooming 50, it was ridiculous, but you just had that.
I think it depends where you are. So when I'm with my mum and I go home to her house, I regress and, you know, I leave the plate on the side and she loads the dishwasher and I just feel like a child again. But then in my everyday life, I can sometimes feel overwhelmed with responsibility and look at my husband and think, he's so fun still. And have I lost that ability to be a little bit frivolous and more light-hearted?
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? Because I think, yeah, when I'm in my house, I feel like a grown-up because, as you say, you've got, you know, bills to sort out and this and that, and that's gone wrong. But I just spent the last 3 days up in Yorkshire for a friend's wedding. And it's my next-door neighbour whose first husband died and she's met somebody and got married again. So we're all of that age. And it was glorious. We all got the train up there. And I just felt like I felt 19 again because we were all on the train, like really excited, all, you know, ordering a rosé,
no responsibility,
catching up. And then the wedding day was wonderful. And then, you know, the next day we all stayed in the same hotel. The next day we had the debrief, all a bit hungover. Oh, do you know, it was so nice. I felt like I was in this sort of like bubble back in the day. You know, no responsibilities, fun, glorious.
And so what age
and now I'm back here.
What age do you feel this morning then?
104.
Well, you had 3 days of 19 again. Not many of us get that.
I did.
Loads more to come. We're talking hula hoops. Oh, we're regressing again. No, not that kind, Frankie. not that kind. No. And they had one of Soapland's sweetest love stories. And after the break, Corrie couple Ashley and Claire Peacock, that's actors Stephen Arnold and Julia Haworth, will be reuniting and talking all things Weatherfield. I say they'll be talking all things Weatherfield. I'm sorry, I apologise, but I loved Fred Elliott. What can I say? And you too. See you after this. Welcome back. We'll be talking to former Corrie couple Stephen Arnold and Julia Haworth in just a minute. But first, we thought we'd take a leap out of Judy Murray's book and give... Oh, she's good at it. Look, how is she doing?
I feel like she learnt that from Strictly.
Did you see the guy? Who was she doing that with? He was barely... Oh, look at... Oh, it's Jane.
Jane's cheating.
I can see you in the playground, Jane. Just I'm looking so cool.
Oh, this is so annoying.
Why have we all...
Go on, Jane.
Go on, Jane, go on. Why have we all
put
so
one foot in
rubbish?
front of the other?
Yeah,
Go on then, go.
My daughter does it really effortlessly.
Yeah, that's annoying, isn't it? The young one. Maybe we need to go slower.
Yeah, my daughter barely moves. She's just like this and it stays up.
Maybe it's the speed.
Total fail. Jane, you look as if you're doing it perfectly, but you don't have a hoop round you. It's all very well to stand there and do this, but unless you've got that hoop, you're not doing it. I think we should throw our hoops in the ring, shouldn't we? Yeah. It's not working, girl.
Give up. Oh. We tried. I love that Katie at one point, it's happening!
Give us a play, give us a play.
Now, on Coronation Street, Ashley and Claire Peacock's relationship had more ups and downs than the Blackpool's Big Dipper. That is until Ashley unexpectedly died during the big tram crash of 2010. But today we are bringing him back to life to reunite with his wife, or at least reuniting actors Stephen Arnold and Julia Haworth for our soap reunion week. Before they join us, let's take a look back at Ashley and Claire's love story.
Well, I must say, it's all very impressive, Claire.
Thank you.
That's fine, I'll see you out. Well, that's it as far as I'm concerned. She's the one.
Are you all right? Have you hurt yourself?
No, I'm just kneeling down.
Brian Harvey never know.
Brian Harvey never asked you to marry him.
I don't know what to say. Yes! Go for it.
You may now kiss the bride.
It's like the more you give, the more I want. And maybe that's no lie.
And Stephen and Julia are with us now. Hi there, you two.
Hello, girls.
Hello. How are you doing? Hi. Now, listen, as we were making complete idiots out of ourselves with the hula hoops, you two were just catching up and having a wee chat. I don't know what you were saying, but I could see you chatting away.
We always do, don't we, Jules?
Once we start, you can't stop us.
Oh, it's so nice to see the both of you. We have been reliving some of your fabulous moments, and I'm going to take you right back straight away to the moment on the soap that you both met. Here we go.
Say, it's all very impressive, Claire.
Thank you.
And I need thee.
And I'm studying for my ADCE.
Oh, aye. And what's that when it's at home?
Advanced Diploma in Childcare and Education.
I hope that doesn't mean we're paying for you to go to college one day a week.
Oh, no. I'll make sure everything's arranged for your convenience.
I should hope so, too.
You do realise you're looking for somebody full-time?
Yes. And
Oh, Julia, you look so young and fresh out the box, don't you?
I know. It's absolutely terrifying.
Oh. So, and Fred Elliott, of course, the character there, Stephen, I was a huge Fred Elliott fan as a character. And you were very close, yeah?
We were so close. John was like a second dad to me, and he always used to call me surrogate son. I mean, I tell it in every interview that I do that John taught me 95% of what I know today. He was just such an unselfish actor. His comedy timing was just absolutely spot on. And he was just a fabulous person for me, and I owe that man so much. I've got so many good memories of working with him.
Julia, do you have a favourite scene that you've ever done on the show?
Oh, Frankie, there were so many. I think the wedding really stands out because we just had such a ball filming that. So I'd say that was a real highlight. And then our final scene together when Ashley was going off on a stag do, and, you know, obviously the viewers had no idea what was to come, but we did. Oh, that scene was so hard to film, wasn't it, Stevie?
It really was, I think, because we was basically, when we did the scene, we was basically saying goodbye to one another when we was doing it, and that's how it felt, didn't it, Jules? It really did.
Completely, completely.
Yeah, but I'm the same as you. I think the wedding was just so special. I think it took the couple such a long time to get together. The audience wanted it, we wanted it, and once it got there, I mean, there's not many weddings that go exactly to plan on Coronation Street, but ours went brilliant, and they got fake snow in, and it was just a joy to do, and I couldn't have picked a better person to work with than Julia, and it was just brilliant.
Stevie, I feel the same.
That's so lovely.
You know that.
I'm always so envious of actors and actresses. Like, you get to have these weddings where you get to try on different dresses, and you get to have more wedding days than everyone else. So
it's so lovely seeing
I love that bit.
It's so lovely as a viewer, you know, reliving that wedding again. And I wondered, when you get married on a soap like this and we all get invested in following your journey, when you go out and about in public, do the public sort of almost believe you really are married and come and give you advice and talk to you about the wedding and, you know, and call you by your on-screen names as a husband and wife?
I think the viewers really loved Claire and Ashley, and I think they just rooted for them.
I think so, yeah. I think we all felt like we came to that wedding and we were part of it, and we just invested in it so much. But it's lovely. It's a lovely story, you know?
Yeah.
And it was a Christmas Day wedding.
Yeah, a Christmas Day wedding. Yeah, I remember it. I was a fanatic. I'm a big Corrie fan, so yeah.
Stephen, I wanted to ask you, because obviously it's a huge show. It's a big sort of juggernaut to be involved in, and as you said, people feel like your family. So when you found out that your character was going to be killed off, how did that make you feel?
I was fine by it. I think Ashley's been on such a long journey, done so many storylines, and I always said if I wanted to leave, I never wanted to leave in the back of a taxi. And when I went upstairs to see Phil Collinson about it, he said, like, we're shutting down the character, and I said, fair enough, but I said, but please tell me you're killing me off, because, you know, I wanted him to go and like turn a page and start a new chapter. So there's never that thing in my mind saying, oh, am I going to go back? Am I not? I just wanted to start afresh and do new things, which I've done ever since. I've been so fortunate ever since and not stopped working. I've been really fortunate. So, yeah, but I had a fantastic time there. I've got nothing but fantastic memories of that show, and I met and worked with some belting people. It was just a privilege to be on. Absolute privilege.
Lovely. And you two sort of, as Kay said, you were chatting to each other just before we came on air, and you stay in touch. And I think you did Pointless Celebrities together, didn't you? How did you get on?
We did all right.
We did OK, didn't we? We did OK. And we got some money for our chosen charities, which was fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But we've actually worked together since, haven't we? We played husband and wife. We did a film, not last year, the year before, didn't we, call?
The year before.
Once a year on Blackpool Sands. And we played husband and wife in that, which was lovely.
We did. They weren't quite as pleasant to each other as Claire and Ashley.
No, it wasn't.
And did you just click back into it? Working together?
Yeah, obviously.
Immediately.
Yeah, immediately. I mean, but yeah, I mean, obviously, it's completely different characters to what Ashley and Claire were. But yeah, it was, you know, me and Jules always say we don't live out each other's pockets, but when we're there for each other, they're always there for one another. And we've got a really good friendship and really good bond. And it just feels like you've never been away. You know, you can not speak for 6 months, and as soon as we see each other again, it's just there instantly, isn't it, Jules?
Yeah.
Julie, I love that. Oh, sorry, Julie. I love that description of your character Claire, which I was reading earlier. The mousewife that roared.
Yeah. I don't know who came up with that, but it was just brilliant because she was kind of this timid individual, but when there was something that she felt really strongly about, she was like a lion. She could roar, and I loved that about Claire.
The question we've been asking ourselves, you know, when do you feel grown up? Stephen, do you feel grown up?
I do now when I do plays and stuff. I always feel like I'm like, well, most of the time I'm like a senior member of the cast now, but I'm still a kid at heart. I think that's what drives me to do what I do and do the job that I do. But I always feel young at heart. I think the first time I ever felt old, which is a really strange thing, I just turned 27. I thought, I'm old now. I don't know why.
Wait till you get to our age.
That's depressing.
And it's just a random number, and I just thought, I'm 27, I'm old now.
That's it. Well, listen, thank you so much. It's been really nice speaking to you. You'll never grow old, Julia, so I won't even ask you the question. There you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time, girls. Thank you for having us on.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Now, after the break, has pub food got too fancy? We'll be testing if Jane knows her onions, pickled onions, that is, when it comes to pub grub. And here's a big day dress code dilemma for you. How would you react if the bride and the groom turned up in trackies? We'll see you after this.
It's a nice day to start again.
We've seen Colleen embrace country life, Ruth take to the skies in our quest to find out our lady's life, if not loose. Now it's Linda's turn as she puts on her pinny and gets put through her paces as a chambermaid in a top London hotel.
That's my career going down the pan.
Next week on Loose Women.
Welcome back. Well, if you're thinking, where's Jane and Frankie got to, all is going to be explained in just a minute. Now, picture the scene. Glasses are filled, a hush descends on the crowd, and the new Mr. and Mrs. enter the wedding reception in joggy bottoms. Well, one couple did just that for the big day, and they caused quite the fashion fiasco. We have our own very fashionable Frankie and jogging Jane trying out the new trend. Let's have a look, girl. Let's see ya.
Very nice. I like it.
No.
Very. Oh, Jane. Sailing it out, girl.
I feel like Jane and I are getting married to each other. I do, Jane.
I won't ask for sex on the first night.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect marriage, guys.
Well, considering that this is a show that has, I think, married Sherry with a dog, you know, you're all right. Actually, this is pretty
I
conventional.
feel like I can't move my head properly. I might fall off. I'm really enjoying this bit.
How does it feel?
Oh, this is basically what I wear on a daily basis anyway. And I just think, once you've done the wedding bit and you've done all the pictures, everyone just wants to be comfortable and have a good time, don't they? And I thought she looked a bit classy.
Yeah.
I did, actually. I liked it.
The wedding I've just been to, the bride, after all the ceremony and dinner and whatever, she then went upstairs and put a jumpsuit on and trainers, and all the female guests had put their trainers just outside the marquee so that we could all be comfortable for dancing.
I love that. I think, then you get maximum enjoyment, participation. Yeah. I mean, this is everyone's post-lockdown uniform. Everyone works from home wearing this. I mean, I did something similar at my wedding. So I got married in a really traditional dress. It looked like... it looked like a dress, but that's actually a top and skirt. And what I did is I whipped the skirt off. It had a zip at the back. And underneath was this little short skirt attached to the top. So...
Did you have a dance?
Yeah. So basically,
girl.
it started off as a slow dance, and then the record sounded scratched, and I ripped my skirt off, and it broke into Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal.
My goodness.
That was our move.
That was your Bucks Fizz moment, wasn't it?
Literally. Yeah, it was fun.
Totally.
I had a gusset sewn in.
I'm glad to hear it, Katie. That's very, very...
I just want to wear... Screw the joggers. I just want to wear one of these every day.
Do you?
I really love it.
You can only
Feel
wear
really
those up to a
fancy.
certain age.
Really?
I have to say, you're on the cusp. We're well past Jane.
Even
let's
on
not
my hen
pretend.
do, I didn't really want to wear one.
We had
Now I'm
someone
like-
that sent a tweet in, Megan sent a tweet in and said, my husband was a Ninja Turtle on our wedding day. Why not? The day is about the couple and their love. Make it special for you, not because it's what it's supposed to be. I agree, if that's what you wanted.
Completely.
Fair
We've
enough.
got- We've got lots of other people saying the same. Tanya, for part of her reception, wore a purple bin bag over her dress.
As you do.
And her husband wore a football shirt. And then Sharon got married after, when she got married after the first dance, went and changed into her onesie for the rest of the night.
Why not?
Well, if it's about you, then...
The purple bin bag, I'm a bit confused by,
Oh,
but
we don't
each
know.
to their own.
It's sweaty.
I just want to know why.
Sure, there
that's
was a
all.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what I think is so nice about it? We asked the question, you know, is it OK to... It's OK to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know, you do whatever you think that's going to give you a good time, because we get so bound to tradition and convention and the way things that you should do everything, particularly at weddings. And it must just be delightful that people are ripping up the rule book and just do what you want.
I think it just becomes about what everyone else thinks, and people think they've got an opinion and a say on it, and it becomes less about the couple and their love for each other and the reason why everyone's there, and more about everybody else. It's like I always think everyone assumes they should be invited to someone's wedding.
Do you still like your dress? You know, when you look back at your wedding, do you still...
I do still like it, yeah. I do love it. I don't know if I'd choose the same thing now. Wayne would kill me for that. But I do love it. When I look back, it's a moment in time, isn't it?
It's beautiful.
And we just have fun. I was all about the party.
See, that
like
is
you
better.
say, like everyone's wedding is individual. I went to a wedding this weekend, and she'd converted, and it was a real mix. Even the ceremony, it was just like this perfect mix, and everything about the wedding was personal, down to like the smallest thing. Like everyone had a little individual poem at their table and things like that for each person. I just thought, there's so many little things that now I think, I wish I'd done those little individual things.
No. That's the way to do a wedding, just however you want to.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
In joggers.
Yes, we approve. Competition time now, and it's your last chance to win this week's prize. Lines close in just a couple of hours. Here's Jeff with how to enter.
It's big, it's bold, and it could be yours. Yes, our incredible prize package, worth over a huge £118,000, will be making its way to you. Let's start with the money. We've got £40,000 to give away. It's totally tax-free, so you'll get every single penny of it. You could pay off some of your mortgage, treat your loved ones, go on holiday, or just save it for a rainy day. It's entirely up to you. What you won't need to do is spend that money on a car, as we'll also be giving away a brand new Range Rover Sport worth over £78,000. It comes with 21-inch alloys, banging sound system, a panoramic sunroof and more. You'd be the envy of all your neighbours with this parked in your driveway. You really don't want to miss out on this two-part prize. It only takes one entry to win, and you could be our next big winner. Lines close today at 3 p.m. For another chance to win a Range Rover Sport and £40,000, go to the website. Entries cost £2. Text prize to 81119. Text cost £2 plus one standard network rate message. Call 09068 781119. Calls cost £2 plus your network access charge. Or post your name and phone number to DY36, PO Box 7558, Derby, DE1 0NQ. Entrance must be 18 or over. Lines closed today at 3 p.m. Good luck.
Now, if you're popping to your local for a pint this weekend, what will you be chasing it with? Latest sales figures suggest that classic pub snacks like pickled eggs and port scratchings have gone out of favour, with fancy wasabi peas and olives becoming more popular. It's all got very posh, Jane. Has it got, as she sits there with a big bloomin' pickle? Oh, you're not going to, please don't.
Tripled out.
Really?
Love a pickle.
Really?
My favourite.
Gorgeous. I could eat a whole jar of pickled onions on my own.
What's gorgeous about it?
They're
just so Moorish, aren't they? I sit there with a spoon and eat the pickled onions.
Love it.
So you like the old stuff, do you? Do you want me to speak to somebody else?
I was just reading about a pub up near Sheffield, and he said he used to sell all the classics, you know, pickled onions and salted peanuts and all of that. And his biggest thing now is salted almonds and jalapeno pretzel pieces. I mean, what sort of witchcraft is that?
Oh.
She sits
what
there
you
with
want.
a pickled
What are you
onion.
eating, Katie? What have you gone for?
I've gone for the crisps first, and I do miss all the old-fashioned gammon and pineapple crisps, salt and shake. Good crisps in a pub.
Did you have the hula hoops? This is the way that you eat hula hoops. Do you not know that? You have to put one on each finger and then eat them off.
I put them on my tongue,
compulsory.
then I suck them till they go soggy.
Oh, thanks
So
for
do
that,
you
Katie.
feel
That's
like
nice.
do you think like you'll ever feel like an adult, Kay?
Me? Oh, yeah, I'm very grown up. Whee! The funny, I was with my daughter yesterday in Edinburgh and we went to get some lunch. And, you know, it's lovely, there's all these shishi places. I'm not really a pub person. You know, if I see one more halloumi and avocado on sourdough, I'm going to throw. I really am. You go past all these menus. It looks perfect, but, you know, with chili flakes and infused this, whatever. And we ended up in a calf. And it was just so nice.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah,
And I can't be doing gravy's disappeared. Now it's all like jus.
Oh,
like, jus.
the jus really annoys me.
I just want gravy.
I mean, I go to a pub for a good Sunday roast and I want it to be really traditional. But, I mean, I end up going to cafes now for my food because pubs are just too fancy, especially if you've got kids as well.
Yeah. Is anyone going to go for the pickled egg?
No, absolutely not.
No, we're not.
I'm going for a
This is so
pie.
good.
You're still enjoying that pickled onion? I'm looking at the pork scratchings there. I mean, well, I don't eat meat, so I'm never going to go for that anyway. But I did film once in a pork scratchings factory, and I tell you what, if you've ever been in one, you will never eat a pork scratching again.
Don't do that to us.
No, honestly, I'm going to tell you about it. There's these huge, big bubble. Oh, Jane, honestly, don't.
I'm going to have
huge,
one.
big, bubbling vats of fat. And then it spills over the edge and they give you wellies before you go in. And the fat is like up to the top of your wellies and then they chuck in the pig skin. And you're still enjoying that. How can you?
I mean,
Look at her.
she enjoys a pickled onion. She's
Jane
not
is in-
really someone to ask.
She's industrial, isn't she? You are
I'm a
totally...
60s child.
But it is nostalgia, isn't it?
It
I
is,
remember
yeah.
growing up, going to the pub with my parents. I'd take a pack of cards, sit there with my crisp, like 2 hours.
I may have just broken my tooth, though, in amongst...
And you spent a lot of money on these teeth.
I have.
I think the pub culture in England is a bit different from Scotland, though. I mean, in Scotland, and I hope I'm not going to offend anyone in Scotland, like when I was a kid, they were boozers. And they didn't really do food. I mean, they might chuck a packet of crisps at you, but that was...
Yeah,
this
it was more
exotic.
snacks, wasn't it? It was more snacks, and we've got no old school pubs near us now. And I remember the last one going a few years ago, and everyone was genuinely devastated. People were taking the stalls, people were taking parts of the pub they were allowed
part of the community,
with them. Yeah, because you know you have the locals that go there, the older guys that go and sit there, and they see the same people, and I don't know. It's part of a culture that is just completely gone now.
The other thing they do now is they don't do anything normally. You order something off the menu and you think you know what you're going to get, and then it comes and you go, what is this? And they go, it's deconstructed. Have you had that?
No.
It's a deconstructed ham sandwich. It's like, well, what does that... Just make me a sandwich.
And don't even bring me anything on a slate.
No.
I don't want anything on a slate. I want a plate, I don't want a slate. Anyway, that's all for today. Next week, we're joined by Natalie Imbruglia, Love Island's Amy Hart and her new man, and EastEnders Louisa Litton and a new baby. Have a good weekend.
I'm going for another pie.